vetted. I assume it's a simple majority now that in the Senate, right? The ultimate being removed. So what is going on? We've heard that the four candidates are pretty partisan.
We are looking at trying to figure out ways to force the majority leader to agree that there has to be a bipartisan support for whoever they choose. This is the question about how you replace the head of the FBI now that Comey has been fired. One of the candidates is the sitting person right now. His name is McCabe. He's very well regarded. He was actually a poster boy for attack from the far right for a long time because he had a role as the deputy supervising this investigation. His wife ran as a state candidate for a legislative office in Virginia. Governor Terry McAuliffe got Democratic Party money to support her candidacy. Governor McAuliffe is a friend of the Clintons, so the Republicans went crazy. That was all a big scandal, and so, but I think McCabe is legit. So it's not as if they're all terrible. I do think that the political names ought to be thrown out right away. The FBI has never had an elected politician as its director, and it shouldn't. So what we need to do is to put enough pressure on Mitch that he agrees that this has to be bipartisan, even if he only informally agrees that he'll hold the 60-vote rule. If they jam through a partisan or unqualified FBI nominee, there is going to be hell to pay for them. And I don't think that they can afford it. I don't think the president understands that. He just likes power and being a bully and being an autocrat. But I do think that the Republicans want this fight to go away. They are not winning this. And the sooner they can get a legitimate FBI director in and close the door on this sorry episode, the happier they will be. So we have, I think, support from Republicans quietly to try to get this done and get this gone. Yeah?
How do you decide whether it's, or the government decide whether it's 51 or 60?
There's a rule in the Senate that allows for essentially indefinite debate and indefinite amendments, which allows the minority to delay things for as long as they wish. So to push back against that, there was another rule set up that said, if you can get 60 senators to vote to end debate, then it stops and you get 30 hours of debate and then you go to the vote. So that with 60 senators, you can force something to happen. And then what we did first, and then what the Republicans did for the Supreme Court, was change that rule by a parliamentary device from 60 to simple majority. So for the moment, they could shove a political nominee through with a simple majority because they changed that rule. But the rule behind it is the 60-vote rule in the Senate that still applies to all legislative matters, except stuff that goes through a budget track that's separate.